Hello and welcome to Fulham Fan News. As the football season rolls on thick and fast, today's show will see us briefly react to Saturday's Selhurst Park stalemate, discuss our star man between the sticks, and look ahead to the West London derby under the Monday night cottage lights next week. In addition to, of course, reflecting on the elephant in the room for many with regards to the ridiculous ticket pricing which Fulham have put out for the fans, and it's not looking good. But anyway, joining me tonight is Mr. Tom Carter. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, a little bit annoyed and ready to rant, but there you
Yeah,
go. We'll
we'll get
we'll
to
get
that
into it.
eventually. We'll
Yeah,
get
we'll
into
get
that
into it
eventually.
eventually.
It's good to be back with you after a few weeks off. But yeah, to kick things off, I'd love to know your thoughts about our draw with Palace.
Yeah, it was a tough one to watch, really. Again, to be honest, a bit like the Luton game. I thought we created a few more chances as I expected because Palace aren't going to sit back with 9 men behind the ball like Luton did. But yeah, I thought we created most of the chances in the game. We probably should have won the game. The fact that Sam Johnston's come out as man of the match from Crystal Palace's point of view shows that Fulham probably dropped 2 points there. But on the other side of the coin, as I always like to be positive regarding our performances, I think there's a lot more to come from the team. You saw it starting to gel, especially, you know, I'm going to talk about Raul Jimenez up front. A lot of people wanted Vinicius to come in. Me, I thought maybe just give Jimenez another couple of games. And if Vinicius wasn't coming in this weekend, then I think Marco's made his mind up, to be honest. And I thought he held the ball well. I thought, especially in the first half, he was a very good outlet for Fulham. Made some good runs, and it just seems to me that the other players in the team need to start realizing how Jimenez plays, where they're going to find him. And I thought, I genuinely thought he was going to get his goal. I thought his touch was Berbatov-esque for that effort that he put Johnston saved. So yeah, I think things are getting better. I think we are getting a little bit more fluid going forward. It's going to take time after so long with Mitrovic up front. Um, Overall, when you go away to a place like Palace and you pick up a point, I think it's a solid point. In the long run, we'll look back and think, yeah, that was a decent point. Roy Hodgson teams, as we know, very good defensively, don't give a lot away. So yeah, for me, I think it was a decent point on the road. Probably on reflection, should have picked up 3 points. But if you'd have offered the points to me at the beginning of the game, I'd probably said, yeah, no worries, I'll take that.
Yeah, to take any you can get, really. I mean, it seems only a matter of time until Jimenez does get his goal. And I think one of the reasons Marco's continuing to stick with him is to give him a time to get that goal, because I think that would be really crucial. Of course, with Chelsea next, who knows? He could get out and really announce himself as a Fulham player like Vinicius did last season. But with regards to the game, for myself, I do think it was quite end to end. There were quite a lot of chances amid all the yellow cards and frenzies and stuff. Of course, it was a bit toothless in attack from both teams. The referee didn't really seem to have much control, hence the amount of yellow cards which were given out. Of course, João Palhinha did pick up one, which is just shows he's back to his best, which is excellent. Good to see he's committed to the club. And yeah, another point in the board, as you say, we'll take them whenever we can get them. And with some more favourable fixtures coming up, then who knows what else we can get. So yeah. Anyway, one of our key assets, which did help Fulham to their third clean sheet of the season, was Super Bernd Leno in goal. He is a keeper on form and is pulling off some really serious, impressive shot stopping for Fulham at the moment. Tom, what do you make of his recent performances?
I've always been a massive fan of Bernd Leno. I said when we signed him, I think he's a world-class goalkeeper. He lost his way a bit at Arsenal, but you don't lose that quality. I thought at Leverkusen he was brilliant. Um, and obviously, like I say, he lost his way a bit at Arsenal, but you can see from, when he was on the Fulham fix that he's taken to the club. He's a player that the fans love. He loves being there. He loves hearing the song. And I think he's just going to go from strength to strength. Fulham fan news tweeted out earlier about Hugo Oliveira being a massive part of Leno's form, and Hugo Oliveira is one of the best goalkeeping coaches on the planet, to be honest. The likes of Edison, Oblak, Julio Cesar, Jordan Pickford as well. Even he said he took his game to another level. So I'm excited to see where Leno goes with the club. I think the back four absolutely love having him behind them. I think it shows in the confidence and the fact that we are picking up those clean sheets. Um, yeah, every team rise their luck a little bit. Last week at Luton, against Luton, they hit the post. They had a couple of efforts, but when you've got a goalkeeper like that, and you know that you're gonna maybe concede one goal, if none, in a game, then you've always got a chance of getting something out of the game. And again on Saturday, it showed. It didn't look like, to me, it didn't look like Palace were going to score all game. Um, we were toothless. They were, non-existent going forward. The only player I thought might do something was Eze, but we did well on him. And obviously they thought they might have got a penalty. It wasn't a penalty at all. Um, so yeah, for me, I think Leno he's an absolute gem. The club is very lucky to have him, and we should savour him. Because I'm sure, like Palhinha, like Mitrovic, those vultures will start circling soon. Um, yeah, because I mean, even going into Monday's game against Chelsea with Robert Sanchez in goal, for me, Leno is much better than Chelsea's goalkeeper, and I think that says a lot, to the recruitment team for the price we paid for him. This guy he's a backbone that we could build the squad on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you raise a good point there about with regards to providing stability at the back, because all the praise seems to go to João Palhinha, that if Palhinha is there, our back four are solid. We're making sure that we're keeping the back line tight, which is the main thing. But much of the praise should go to Leno as well, because he really does make the centre backs feel like more comfortable with the back passing and stuff. He's really is a core central part of the team. I do seriously think he's up there as he's one of the best. I mean, he's got 3 clean sheets so far, joint first with Edison. And long may it continue all of his fine performances, and I'm sure there's many more clean sheets to come. So, do you think he is one of those players that is on the same level of importance as Palhinha and, well, obviously when Mitrovic was here, Mitrovic, but on the level of Palhinha and, I don't know, Vinicius,
Vinicius.
Andreas maybe?
Maybe. No, yeah, Leno is right up there. For me, Paulinho and Leno are the two. If we can keep hold of, they're the core of the team. The team can be built around them. On Pereira, I think he started the season quite poorly, to be honest, and I think he needs to be very careful because Alex Iwobi will come for his position. A player that Marco Silva knows very well, Alex Iwobi, and yeah, Pereira needs to step his game up. I thought it was an absolute embarrassment when he got slapped in the back by Anderson at the weekend and he decided to throw himself to the floor. Um, yeah, I just wanted to get that in there because I don't want to see that in the game. I know everybody does it, but when you see your own team doing it, it just it is embarrassing to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you say, Alex Iwobi has hit the ground running, and he's been. I mean, from what we've seen of him so far, he's looking really good. Obviously, he was crucial in the build up to the goal last week before Palace in the Luton goal. And I'm sure we'll see plenty more fine performances tomorrow. Of course, as when this recording goes out, we would have already played Norwich, but I'm expecting him to start against Norwich. So yeah. Anyway, now to focus on some Fulham related news away from the pitch. And once again, us Fulham fans have been left disappointed and let down by some silly ticket pricing by the club, especially Man United, which is the one which has done the rounds recently on social media. It is a shame to see how out of touch the club still seems to be with the fans, like prioritizing business over the enjoyment of the club and really like bringing the fans together. It's starting to get wider attention as well from other media outlets. Tom, I know you're a big advocate for ticket pricing and stuff, and I know you've got a lot to say on this, so over to you.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm a 32-year-old, and when I first started supporting Fulham, kids went for £1. under the Al Fayed era, and that was the reason that I got going there. I started going every week, um, and I'm probably not the only one that went when it was cheap to go, because you want the stands to be packed. You want that next generation of fans to come through, and at the moment I just can't see it. For me now to go with my son, I'm looking at £200 maybe just to go to watch a football match, and we're not Manchester United, we're not Arsenal, we're not Chelsea, we're Fulham. We're supposed to be a family club, and like you just hit the nail on the head there, that it's a business, and they are distancing themselves from the fans. I could understand possibly, maybe, if these prices came out and we'd made two or three massive signings in the summer and we were really pushing for Europe. Marco had signed his contract and we were all, happy. This sort of thing wouldn't be such an issue, but it just feels like they've let the biggest player go. They've put the prices up. They've replaced the biggest player with someone who people don't believe can do it for an absolute tiny amount of the fee. I'm not saying Jimenez is the long-term solution, but right now, for Fulham fans, they want to be entertained. They want to be welcomed to the stadium. They want to have a reason to go and enjoy the football. And I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure you as well. You can't afford to go to too many games if you're not a season ticket holder. And this is where my biggest gripe comes: is if you're a season ticket holder, fantastic. But what about those people who work in jobs that work Saturdays? What about those people who have families that want to do things on the weekend, with your son, with your daughter, with your wife, with your girlfriend? I understand football is life, and I understand, I'm 100% behind that. But also, there are other things. And what this does to me, what this Manchester United ticketing shows me, is that the board, the Khans, anyone who's involved in it, they don't care who fills that seat as long as someone pays that money. And to me, when we play Manchester United, most of those seats will be filled by London-based Manchester United fans because they can't get to Old Trafford or don't want to go to Old Trafford and can't afford to pay for it, or what have you. Fulham stands are going to be full of Manchester United fans, and people always moan about Fulham not being very loud and the atmosphere is poor. Well, this is part of the reason. Now I know the Hammy End absolutely raw, game in, game out, and I try and get to 9 or 10 games a season, but wherever I sit, if I'm not in the Hammy End, all I can hear is away fans, and it's horrible to hear that, but it's really this is the reason. People are priced out of it. Youngsters that go with their parents, that next generation, it's just not going to be there, and our stands are going to be full of tourists, not Fulham fans. And yeah, so I know Fulham fan news tweeted out yesterday to try and bring everybody together, to try and make a statement that we can put to the Fulham supporters trust, because this is something that it's gone on too long. And if we want those stands full of Fulham fans, then we need to make a stand right now. Otherwise, they're just going to keep doing it, and we're not going to get to games, and everybody will be priced out unless you have a season ticket. And for me, that's not the way you should look at it. What about the members? What about the people, like I said, that can't get to Saturday games, can't get to every game? I understand tomorrow night it's £20, and that's fine. That's a good price. I'm happy with that. But also, it's tomorrow night. How many kids are going to go tomorrow night with school the next day? Everybody wants to get to football matches, and the pricing for away games, I think, is capped at £30. It should be capped at a certain price for any game, for me, in my opinion. Football is for the fans. Football wouldn't be anything without fans. We saw that during COVID. It was poor. So for me, yeah, it's a massive kick in the teeth to any passionate, real Fulham fan out there that wants to get to a few games this season. This Man United ticketing, even Sheffield United, I've seen 50 quid. 50 quid to go watch Sheffield United.
Not great.
That is the perfect game. That is the perfect game to go 25 quid an adult or 30 quid an adult and £5 a child. Fill the stands. Let's get an atmosphere going. Let's make this a family club again. it just baffles me what's going on. I know they've got the Riverside stand to pay for, but to be honest, I'd rather knock it down and put the old Riverside back up if this is the way they're going to go.
Mm. You've raised some excellent points there, and really spot on. Couldn't have said it any better myself, really. And as you say, I think the collectively with other Fulham outlets, we all need to come together and put like make a stand. Of course, anything we want to do has to go through the Fulham Supporters Trust, who have tried countless times to get a response, but it doesn't seem like anything's working, or if they are even listening.
The
Do,
more
do,
people
do
that do it, Kieran, the more people that do it, the more noise that we make.
mm,
Sooner or later, it can't be ignored.
yeah.
Cannot be ignored. Once you get to a certain amount, people are going to have to take notice of what these fans are saying.
I think that is the way forward. Because it seems difficult to try and predict if there would be an improvement in the future. Do you think so?
No, not the way it's going. Not at all. I mean, obviously the Riverside stand they're saying is going to be completed by the beginning of next season, and they're probably going to hike prices again next season.
Mm,
We're going to be in the same boat next season until something is done. We're going to continue to see it. I
yeah,
mean, I get that there's only a couple of hundred seats up at the top of the Riverside that are a £3,000 season ticket, but nowhere else in the world is there a £3,000 season ticket. What gives them
exactly.
the right to charge that? The only thing that I can think is that they think West London tourists, they're going to buy a season ticket, probably go to two games, not bother with anything else because
Yeah.
they're rich.
It's it's it's
That's all it
really out
is.
of
But
touch. It's so out of
but
touch
no
with the
Fulham
fans.
fan is actually going to get in that stadium
Mm.
to sit in
I
the
know it's an
Riverside
iconic
stand.
stadium and everything, but
Stupid.
the fact that the pricing for a ticket is more than any of the big six clubs itself is ridiculous. Like you'd expect these prices to be at your Man Cities or your Liverpool games when you're playing the big top six clubs, like the North London Derby, for example, the other day. You'd expect these sorts of prices to be for those sorts of tickets, whether you really do get the atmosphere and you really do get a good game of football. Um, so it's going to be a long way to go, but as you say, the more noise you make, will hopefully make something happen.
I'd
Just
just like to say that any sort of protest that is done will be done with no violence, anything like that. It'll be done the correct manners.
absolutely,
I don't want to see us go down the road of what we saw at Ajax the other day, for
mm,
instance. It's
absolutely.
not the way to do it. There is a way to
Fulham's a
do it, and
mm,
we have to do it the right way.
Fulham's a family club and it's a peaceful club, and any sort of violence or anything is just completely unacceptable and not promoted whatsoever. Through any of this. So yeah. Anyway, next Monday, our local rivals from the other Southwest Six bus stop are coming to the cottage for some Monday night football underneath the famous cottage lights. Of course, last season, that infamous Vinicius header past Kepa saw us win the fixture of 2-1. But of course, Fulham will be hoping to put another strong performance against a fairly frail Chelsea side at the moment. How do you see this one going, Tom?
Well, my personal opinion is that Chelsea are a wounded animal, and you should never underestimate a wounded animal. They were in a similar position when they came to us last season. Lots of injuries, manager who doesn't look like he knows his first 11. Malo Gusto and Nicholas Jackson are both out. Now
Mm-hmm.
that could end up being a good thing for them because Armando Broja is back, and he did well for Southampton and he started doing well for Chelsea before the injury. I'm not sure who would play at right back for them, um, but under the lights of the cottage, it's always special, and yeah, we want to see another victory. That would be fantastic. For me, I can see it being a really tight game. I don't think Chelsea are very confident at the moment. I don't see them scoring too many goals. And obviously, Fulham only have 5 Premier League goals as it is this season themselves. So it's going to be another tight game, I think. I'm hoping for a strong defensive performance again. But we're up against some players that, whether they're any good now or whether their form's dipped now, that, they've been quality in the past. Your Raheem Sterlings and players like that. So it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a really tough game. Hopefully, the Fulham fans can make some noise, drown out the Chelsea fans. And yeah, I'm hoping that Raul Jimenez does play because I think his style of play is more suited to this sort of game. We're going to need him to hold the ball and bring players into the game, which I thought he did fantastically well, both against Palace and in previous games against Man City in the first half, especially. I thought he held the ball really well. So yeah, I'm hoping that he does play. I'd love him to get a goal because I do honestly feel that once he gets that goal, I feel like the confidence will come rushing back to him. That chance he had at Palace in the second half, a lot of people, even on Fulham Fan News, it was tweeted out that should Pereira have done more? I think it's a bit of 50-50. It's a slightly overhit ball. Pereira could have tried a bit harder. Bobby Reed maybe should have just played Pereira in the first place. But yeah, I think it's coming for Jimenez, and I really hope it's Monday night under the lights because there wouldn't be any other special place for any.
Exactly. As we said earlier, it seems only a matter of time, and I think Fulham will need to bring their A game to Chelsea because, as you say, never underestimate a wounded animal, which they definitely are at the moment. They're not looking great. I think they're looking like a really poor side at the moment. Of course, not picking up any sorts of results. Losing against Aston Villa on the weekend as well, not looking good, and of course, without Malagusto or Nicholas Jackson, you on paper you expect them to be a bit weaker than they are, but at the same time you can't really balance it because, as you say again, they haven't really got a fully structured starting 11 yet. Because obviously after spending 1 billion in the transfer window or whatever, it's something stupid it was. You don't know where the players are, how the players are going to glue together. We saw it with Nottingham Forest last season. Of course, they managed to survive. If you buy all these players in, they're not going to gel together in time. It really does scream Fulham from like 2018 under whenever we spent that ridiculous amount and then got relegated. Um, but again, I am expecting a really good game of football. Of course, Monday night football is always iconic, especially if it's Fulham versus Chelsea. West London derby is always a great fixture. It's one I'm very passionate about myself. Of course, we all don't like Chelsea, so to see us beat them again would be so iconic. And we just got to hope that we bring our A game and perform. And as you say, for Raul Jimenez to announce himself to the Fulham faithful in this fixture would be quite something. What does the West London derby mean to you, Tom?
Oh, it's massive. Yeah, it's a huge game, and obviously we don't often get one over on them. So last season to see all the Fulham fans in absolute uproar, going crazy because Vinicius stuck the ball in the net, and it's just fantastic. It's when you get one over on a team like that, especially after the amount they spent. I mean, I remember last year before the game, Fulham fans were taking the mickey out of Chelsea fans for the amount they spent and just saying like Palhinha is going to crush, Enzo Fernandez. I think it was Fernandez's first game, and he didn't really do anything. And yeah,
It was
so
João Felix's first game as well, and he got sent off.
exactly, yeah, and he got sent off. So yeah, it's always great if you can get one over on them because we don't like them. We don't like the other
No.
lot either down the road in Hounslow. So for us to have lost that one this season, it'll be really nice to go and pick up 3 points
Mm,
off this one.
absolutely. Can we get a score prediction?
Uh, I'd be happy with a 1-1 draw, but I really hope for a 2-1 win.
I was going to say I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 Fulham win as well. No bias whatsoever, but I can see it sort of going the same way as it did last year as well. Um, was it
Well, we
last
had
year?
no Mitrovic last season either, did we? When we
Exactly.
played
Last
them,
season
he
we had no
was
Mitrovic either, so
yeah.
um, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing for it, and I really hope we can come out of this one with 3 points because it'd be quite something. It would be the real confidence boost as well, which I think the squad really do need. Obviously, in a bit of a goal drought, you could say, not scoring many up front, and just pushing on. It would put us in double
It's
figures
been
for
it's
points and looking really comfortable.
it's been a decent start though. Like when you look at what's happened this summer and everything that's gone on, to have 8 points now, to
Oh
eight
yeah, no
points,
doubt. Mm,
yeah, to be where we are, it's fantastic.
mm,
Considering we played Arsenal away, City away,
mm.
so I think we should look at it and be like, yeah, that's a decent start. Let's kick on now.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been brilliant. But look, Tom, it's been excellent speaking to you tonight. And as we said, we've covered lots. And let's hope that we can make a lot more noise about the ticket prices and get them all sorted, and also push on and support Fulham on Monday night against Chelsea. As always, we do have a partnership with Foco UK, so please do see the link in the description to get yourself some nice Fulham merchandise ahead of the Fulham Chelsea game on Monday. And yeah, thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you.
No worries, and come on, you Whites.
Down and I live by the river.